Hey riders and racers, and welcome back for another live stream. Today's live stream is the best forearm exercises that you can use to stop arm pump. So I'm going to give you some forearm strengthening exercises that you can use. We'll just go through them. But then I want to give you a bit more background, hey Patrick, on whether you should be using them or not and what you need to be looking at for getting rid of arm pump. Because it is a pain in the ass and it can be very frustrating when you go and ride and you can't hang on, especially when the rest of your body feels fine. If you're doing a lot of training or a lot of fitness work and your legs are fine, your upper body's fine, your back's fine, your core's fine, everything else feels okay, and the only thing holding you back is actually hanging onto the bike. And that just reminded me of one more thing to chat about in a minute. But so overall, so just forgetting about arm pump for a minute, if you want forearm strengthening exercises, it's really anything that's grip intensive. So you can see that there's those squeezy things out there with the spring that you can get, which will work on your grip and work on your forearm. You can do like dumbbell carries, kettlebell carries, barbell carries, just like farmers walks, holding different things. Okay, anything. The bigger you can get the diameter, the more it will work your grip. Okay, so you can also get these things called fat grips, which are like these rubber grips that go over the top of a bar or over the top of a dumbbell. And what they do is they make the bar a lot bigger. You can also get like axle bars that you can use. You might have them at your gym. You can do things like wrist curls. So you can get a bar or even a dumbbell and do wrist curls, okay, and work on working your forearm that way. You've got two parts of your forearm. You've got the extensors and the flexors. So when I extend my wrist back, you'll notice the extensors at the top, okay, they start to tense up. When I flex and I go the opposite way, you'll notice the bottom of my forearm starts to flex. So you probably, I don't know if you can see that there. You can see that it tenses up. See, it activates different muscles. So there's two muscle groups there that we want to use. But overall, hey Rebecca, overall it's really using anything that's going to challenge your grip. It could be even deadlifting. Okay, that's going to help to improve your grip. It could be doing bent over rows. Obviously, you don't want to use straps or anything like that when you're trying to improve your grip strength, because you want your hands and your arms to be doing a lot of the work. Now, they're the actual exercises, okay? They're things that you can do to strengthen your grip. But at the end of the day, you probably don't, your goal isn't to have the strongest grip in the gym. Your goal is to be able to get rid of arm pump. Another thing you can do is like plate pinches. So you can get, I don't have anything here to demonstrate. Let's say this is a weight plate. And what you can do is just hold the plate like this, okay, on the side and hold it as hard as you can. And you'll find that will be quite hard. It'll also work your fingers a lot as well. If you have specific problems with your fingers, it's not so much arm pump, it's just your fingers. You can get these finger strengthening things. You can get them, I think, from Rebel Sport. They're not too expensive. And they've got little holes in them that go over your fingers, and they come in different strengths. And that just helps to strengthen up your fingers if you find that you don't get arm pump, but your fingers are getting sore. They can be a great option for you if you're not able to get out riding 4 or 5 times a week. So ultimately, what I want to chat about is arm pump, okay, not getting your grip strong, because that's really the outcome that you're after. And a lot of us are in the mindset, okay, if we can get our grip stronger, then that's going to make it easier for me to hang on to the bike, and then I'm not going to get arm pump. And so what we've got to look at, though, is what's actually causing the arm pump. Okay, what's the real issue? So, hey, Daniel, if grip strength really was the issue for you getting arm pump, or for people getting arm pump, then what you would find is that generally people who have trades, okay, shouldn't get arm pump, and people that work in offices should get shit tons of arm pump. So if I'm laying bricks, obviously very grip intensive. If I'm let's say an electrician and I'm picking up, I don't know, drills and picking up cables and I'm using my grip a lot, okay, another grip intensive job. If I'm a roofer, okay, I'm picking up roof sheets all day, another reasonably grip intensive job. If I'm a carpenter, picking up drills and putting in screws all day, reasonably grip intensive job. So what you would find is that office workers, if you're an accountant or you sit in an office all day, you should be getting shit tons of arm pump. And if you're laying bricks or you've got a trade or a grip intensive job, then you should have no arm pump if grip strength was the real problem. But in my experience coaching, it's not the case. Okay, I get people all the time that get arm pump that have these trades that go and work on roofs that have grip intensive jobs and still deal with arm pump. So if grip strength was the real problem, then you would just do the grip strength exercise and it would fix arm pump, and then you'd never hear about it again. But that's just not the case. So we have to backtrack. We have to have a look. Okay, what is causing my arm pump? And the first thing we have to look at is go, okay, why are my forearms getting pumped up? And so just like any other muscle group in the body, okay, like if you go to the gym and you do heaps of bicep curls or heaps of tricep extensions or shit tons of sit-ups or lots of squats or leg extension work, those muscles will get a pump as well. And so what causes that pump is overuse, okay, fatigue. That's what gets them to that point of pumping up. It's getting them to that limit where they can't go anymore. So if we know that, then we've got to look at arm pump and go, all right, well, that means my my forearms are being used to the absolute limit. Hey, look, they're being used to the absolute limit where they can't go anymore, okay? And so one way, yes, maybe part of that strategy is getting your grip strength a little bit stronger, and that might help. But the real thing we've got to look at is, why are my forearms being so overworked? Why are they being absolutely thrashed? Why are they fatiguing so quickly? Why are they being used so much when I'm on the bike? And so the thing is, when you're riding a motorbike, it's not like you're hanging off a pull-up bar. So if I grab your body weight, let's say you weigh 100 kilos and you hang off a pull-up bar, right? Your grip is the only thing holding onto that bar. The only thing holding onto that bar is your grip. So what you're going to find there, let me get rid of this notification. What you're going to find is that your grip will need to be stronger for you to hold onto that pull-up bar longer. Okay, there's no amount of squats you can do or no amount of bench press you can do that's really going to help too much with your grip strength. You have to focus on your grip strength a lot, or do a lot more hanging off that bar to be more effective at hanging off a pull-up bar with your 100 kilos of body weight. When you're riding a motorbike, your 100 kilos of body weight isn't the only thing that's holding you onto the bike. Okay, you've got your legs holding you onto the bike, and they're doing a lot of the work. So if you're riding the bike well and your technique's good and you've been working on your skills, your legs are actually doing 80% of the work to hold you on the bike. They're gripping on tight, they're into the peg, squeezing onto the tank. They're doing the work to hold you on the bike. So you should be able to, and I had Greg Moss do this when I did one of my a riding course or camp with him for a week when I was racing, is what he did is he got, and it's always hard to display when I do this on video. What he did is he had a rider's bike, okay? So the bike wasn't on. He put the front wheel in between, so he's holding the bike, and he got the rider to stand on the bike. And what he did is he was shaking the bike, okay, the front of the bike. And so when the rider was standing on there, first of all, he was like falling off balance, like falling off, and he couldn't hold himself on there. And what Greg was trying to teach him is how to grip with his legs. And so he wasn't holding on with his hands, okay? This was no hands, just had his legs on the bike. So he was shaking the bike. First time he's going like this all over the place because the rider wasn't gripping with his legs. He kept falling off balance. Then what he did is he showed him how he needed to be gripping onto the bike and what he needed to do. And what happened is the rider could actually stand on the bike with no hands, okay, just standing up, the front wheel going in between Greg's legs, and he was shaking the bike all around. And then he was able to show the rider how much leg strength he actually needed, how much you need to be gripping onto that bike just using his legs. And so what that demonstrated is that majority of the control over your bike is not through your arms, because the rider didn't have any arms on the bike. Okay, majority of the work is done through your legs. So if you are getting arm pump, okay, and you're getting severe arm pump and those muscles are being overworked, then we have to have a look back and go, okay, why are they being overworked? Like my legs should be doing at least 80% of the work to keep me on the bike. My arms doing, say, 20%, but my legs aren't getting fatigued. My arms are getting fatigued, right? So a lot of riders don't have the strength in their lower body and don't have the strength in their legs to grip on as tight on the bike as what they need to. And so what happens, instead of having 80% of the bike being held on with the legs and 20% with the upper body and the arms, is that usually gets flipped around. We don't have strong legs, okay? So what happens is we get fatigued very quickly and we want to sit down. And even if we are standing up, we're not gripping and actively gripping onto the bike really tight because we don't have the strength and endurance in our legs. So what happens is, because our arms are the thing holding onto the handlebars, they have to pick up the slack. So if your legs are doing less and less work as you keep riding, your arms are doing more and more work to be able to hold you on there. So it's not like hanging off a pull-up bar. Okay, we're not trying to. Your arms aren't the only thing holding you on the bike. Your legs and your lower body should be doing majority of the work. So if you're getting arm pump and those muscles are being overworked, it's probably because your lower body is not doing enough work. Okay, it's not strong enough. So this is where your training. This is where you need to look at your training. So the first thing that you want to do here is you want to make sure that you get your lower body stronger so you can grip on for ages. So you can do things like squats, back squats with a barbell, things like deadlifts. They're going to be a great start for you guys to get a lot stronger. Because when we can get your lower body stronger and get your legs stronger, then you can grip onto the bike for a longer period of time. And if we can get you gripping on tighter to the bike for a longer period of time, then your arms are doing less and less work. If your arms are doing less and less work, then they're not going to get to that point where they fatigue, okay, or they're absolutely thrashed. Or if it does come on, it's going to come on a lot later, not as early as what it is. Okay, and the way that you'll know that your legs, the rest of your body is fatiguing is because you won't have arm pump at the start, and then the longer you ride, the worse it gets. Okay, and the reason that it gets worse, as I was saying, is your lower body does less and less work, your arms are doing more and more work, which is what we want to try and avoid. So squats and deadlifts are a good start for you guys. Okay, this is not the, hey Hayden, that's not the be all end all, okay, for getting rid of arm pump, but it's definitely going to be a good start. But the first thing you need to think about is you need to think for yourself. You need to go, okay, what is happening for me? What is causing my arms to be overworked? And then reverse engineer. So I'm going to give you my thoughts on just a few different things. If you're enjoying this video so far, please give it a like. Or if you've got any questions about arm pump, post them in the comments as I'm going through these next few things. So my thoughts on a few things. So arm pump surgery is one that comes up a lot. Seems to be very popular in MotoGP and in riding and racing. So all arm pump surgery is with our muscle groups, all muscle groups in our body. We have this fascia that runs around the outside. So we've got our muscles, and then we have this fascia around the outside, which creates like a compartment. And so it's like a tissue. It's like imagine like a cobweb, like a very thick cobweb around the outside of the muscles. So imagine you've got this cobweb around the outside of the muscles. When the muscles start to increase with blood flow, they can be restricted by the amount of fascia that's around the outside of that cobweb, because that cobweb only expands so far. So what arm pump surgery does is cuts that fascia, cuts that cobweb to give it a bit more space for more blood to be able to come into the muscle. Now, that can be effective, okay, and riders do get results from having arm pump surgery, but there's also a lot of riders out there that don't get results from arm. Whoa, nearly fell off my chair. I hit the little pump underneath. There are a lot of riders that don't get results from arm pump surgery, okay, or riders that have to get it multiple times, or riders that get arm pump surgery and end up worse off afterwards. So if fascia being tight was really the problem, then it would be 100% success rate. Everyone who gets the surgery, bang, first time done. But that's not the case. That doesn't happen. Some people get better from it. Some people stay the same. Some people get worse off for having surgery. So again, I encourage you to look at, okay, arm pump surgery may be an option, but we've got to look at, okay, why are those muscles being filled up with blood so much? Why are they getting to that point where they're really pumping up? And that's where you've got to reverse engineer again and go, okay, maybe my arms are doing a lot of the work because the rest of my body is not doing the work that it needs to. And then that's what I encourage you to focus on there. Arm pump devices. So there's a lot of arm pump devices out there these days. There's like arm strengthening exercises with like, Powerball. There's like the Forearm Strong device. And again, what they do is work on stretching the fascia or trying to break down that fascia. And that's pretty much like getting a massage, right? When you go to a massage, that's what makes a massage feel good. You may have a lot of fascia that's tight or knotted up or stiff. And when you go and get a massage, it helps to break that down, which restores a bit of your movement and you feel better. So a lot of those devices, you don't need the device to get the result. You can do it on your own. So you can use like a mobility ball. So for example, with your forearm, if you want to start to loosen things up, you can pick a point with your thumb, okay, push it into the muscle group. So let's say for these underside of our forearm here, okay, our flex, I was going to say flexors or extensors, or we can work on both sides. Push your thumb in, and then we can move your wrist backwards and forwards. You can do that while you're watching this video, and you'll notice a difference straight away. Like you'll be able to feel it. You'll be like, oh, that's tight, that's sore, that's tight. Okay, and just keep moving around. Do 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 passes there, and I can feel that with mine. Ooh, like there's some really tight, stiff, sore spots in there. So extensors, flexors on the bottom, extensors on the top. Push your thumb into. You can push your thumb into. I'm trying to show you on the camera how to do it, but it's a bit hard. Here we go. Push into the top, and again, move backwards and forwards. Okay, and just working through spots, you'll find there might be some knots or areas that are quite tight in there. So you want to work on loosening them up. You may find that it's, so for me here, it's particularly tight around here, more towards the elbow. Okay, and that can work on loosening it up and breaking it all down. You don't need all these fancy devices to do this stuff. When it comes to mobility and just movement, it's just general practice if you've got the right tools in the toolbox. You can use a golf ball. If you've got a golf ball, you can push a golf ball in there and then move backwards and forwards. Or if you've got like a little lacrosse ball or mobility ball, you can do that. If it's really, really, really tight and really sore, maybe start with a tennis ball, just start with your thumb in there nice and light. And then once you've done that and you've helped to break down the fascia and restore a little bit of movement, then you can start to do some stretches. So you can just do your basic forearm stretches, okay, like this, and same with the opposite way as well. You can do 30-second holds, 30-second holds up, 30-second hold down. And so what you'll notice is that once you break down the fascia, you'll be able to restore a lot more movement with your flexibility. Okay, you can get a lot more length in your forearm area, and you're going to notice your wrist goes backwards and forwards a lot easier, and it's going to feel a little bit more comfortable, a bit freer. Grip exercises, another one, arm pump diets, okay, eating specific types of food. Again, comes down to reducing fatigue, okay? So if you eat better, your body is going to have more energy. If your body's got more energy, you're going to be stronger for a longer period of time, and your endurance is going to be better for a longer period of time. So that means your legs aren't going to fatigue as quick. So if you eat better and you improve your nutrition, and let's say you increase your energy by 25%, that means your legs should be lasting 25% longer. So if they're lasting 25% longer, that means they're doing their 80% of the work and letting your arms do the 20% for a longer period of time. Okay, so you're putting less load on your forearms. Grip exercises, which I just went through. Okay, you may get improvement doing grip exercise. Okay, you may get improvement with any of these. I'm not against any particular type of method. I just feel like there's more. There's methods that are more helpful and solve the real problem in comparison to a lot of the methods that are out there. But if you get the forearm strong and that works well for you and gets rid of arm pump, then awesome, I'm happy for you. If you got arm pump surgery and that eliminated arm pump for you, now you can enjoy your riding, then I'm happy for you. Good stuff. But I'm going through my thoughts in general and what I feel is the real problem rather than just symptom relief. And the other thing is bike setup, okay, when it comes to bikes. So what will happen, so if you're out riding the bike and you don't feel comfortable on the bike, so if you're riding in conditions that you don't normally ride in, okay, or you're riding in conditions, so let's say like muddy conditions, for example, on a motocross track or an enduro track, or bike setup. Let's say you got terrible bike setup. Let's say you're let's say you're 60 kilos and the bike you're riding is set up for a 100-kilo rider, right? It's going to be very hard to ride that bike because the suspension's not going to work properly. It's going to feel rock hard. And so what's going to happen is the back's going to skate around. The front's not going to turn very well, or it's always going to feel like it's slipping out. It's not going to absorb any bumps. It's probably going to get head shake as you're going down the straight or as you try and pick up any speed because the bike's not absorbing any bumps at all. And so what happens is anytime you feel uncomfortable on the bike, our natural tendency is to grip on tighter. Okay, it's an automatic reaction that we have. Anytime that we feel uncomfortable, we're going to grip on tighter because we feel unsafe. We feel like we're going to come off the bike. So if we go the opposite way and we have a bike that's really, really well set up for us, it's set up perfectly for our body weight, we're riding in conditions that we love to ride in, that we're really good at, we feel comfortable in, what happens is we relax. And when you relax, you don't hold on as tight. Okay, because you're not holding on as tight, you don't have this death grip on the bike the whole time, you can just chill out. And so what's going to happen is you're going to flow and you're going to be a lot smoother on the bike. But the thing is that's not just something you can say. It's not like you can just get out to the track and go, oh, I need to be more relaxed today. That's not going to work like that. Okay, the way that you become more relaxed is becoming more comfortable with the type of riding that you're doing. So you might find that if you never ride sand and you go and ride on the sand, you're probably going to find that you get really fatigued really, really quickly because you're going to be holding on really tight. You're going to be trying to, balance the bike going through sand. You're not able to keep the bike straight. There's heaps of bumps there. You're trying to turn, worry about everyone else on the track. You're going to find it really challenging to be able to ride the track. And so everything is going to be holding on 10 times tighter than, let's say, a hard pack track where you might feel a lot more comfortable. So that's bike setup, okay? Making sure that your suspension is set up for you. But a lot of the times I see riders take that as the easy option, okay? It doesn't mean that you need a track shock or that you need to get cone valve suspension just because you're getting arm pump. Chances are that might be the easy option, okay? If that helps you to get rid of arm pump and you're happy to spend the money on it, then go for it, okay? I'm all for it. All I want for you guys is just to have the end result, okay? I want you to have no arm pump, whatever way that method that is for you. But a lot of the time I see riders jump into that and then they're still dealing with the same problems, okay? And that's because you need to do the underlying work, which is getting in the gym or getting on the bike more and doing the right exercises. So hopefully you guys found this helpful. If you did find it helpful, please give it a like, whether you're watching it on the book, Facebook, or on YouTube. If you'd like some help with this stuff, with getting rid of arm pump, I'll put an application link for you below in the comments. You can fill that out if you're interested. Otherwise, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Look forward to putting together some more videos. I will chat to you guys soon. See ya.